All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for some real people out there, just like you and just like me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Here is my album suggestion. This is Vitalines and their album Wheels Within Wheels. It really isn't about the book of Ezekiel. But you could go and listen to this and enjoy it if you like bands like Toto and Foreigner and things like that. Vitaline's just a really decent project. Great guitar work all over this. And my buddy Robbie LeBlanc, who's one of the finest singers you've probably never heard of. So, and if you've heard of him, good for you. So, big breaking news when it comes to Van Halen stuff. And no, it's not a Van Halen reunion. I'm not going to call this a Van Halen reunion because it's not. Because you don't have Alex and you don't have Ed, obviously. But this broke yesterday, and people were sending me messages like, "You're going to talk about this?" I'm like, yeah, but it's not it. Look, folks, this doesn't appear to be a tribute to Eddie Van Halen. All right. This is like we're playing the music of Van Halen. It's kind of like Chickenfoot more than anything else without Chad Smith. You've got Joe Satriani, you got Michael Anthony, you got Sammy Hagar, and then you've got the great Jason Bonham. So it's like Circlefoot. You know, it's right in there. And they're billing it basically as a Sammy Hagar tour. So they're using him as like the marquee player here. And the logo, you know, kind of looks a little like the Van Halen logo. I don't know if they're going to get in trouble with that. I don't know if Alex really cares. I don't know. Maybe Sammy is just giving everybody the middle finger here. I don't know. But this is big news here. It's called the Best of All Worlds 2024. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Sammy Hagar is embarking on the long-awaited I don't get it. The Best of All Worlds tour. Hagar will be joined by rock heavyweights and longtime bandmates Michael Anthony, Jason Bonham. He said this apparently yesterday on the Howard Stern show. No, I don't pay attention to Howard Stern. I just don't. And there are a number of reasons for that. By the way, opening up for Sammy, I was going to call it Van Halen, but again, it's not Van Halen. It can't be. Loverboy, again, Loverboy, who is currently opening up for Foreigner, and they kill it. I mean, people send me footage of Loverboy with Mike Reno still hitting all those notes. I wonder if Remember the Heroes. I wonder if Sammy would do that and bring Mike up on stage with him. That would be a cool thing. The 28-date tour, 28 dates. So it's, if you miss it, I think you're kind of done. You're not going to see this again. Will commence on July 13th in West Palm Beach, Florida, and will conclude on August 31st. So from the middle of July to the end of August, apparently that's it. I mean, Sammy Hagar is 76 years old. Now, the big breaking news here, though, is he's got Joe Satriani, who's really going to try to lay down those Eddie Van Halen guitar licks. He's really, I think, focused on that. And you know what? There's really nobody better out there who could attempt to replicate what Eddie did. So this is pretty good. Tickets go on sale Friday. And for more details, you can go to redrocker.com. Hagar told Howard Stern, "We're going to go deep into the Van Halen catalog. If you're going to go deep into the Van Halen catalog, you need Joe Satriani." That's what Hagar says here. Although Hagar and Anthony normally play 5 or 6 Van Halen songs on the road with the Circle, Sammy told Stern they are planning to only play 5 or 6 of his songs alongside Van Halen classics and deep cuts. He says, "When we go out next July, it will be almost 20 years since Mike and I did a reunion with Ed and Al in '04. Mike and I just said, we can't wait another 20 years. How long can I even sing these songs? How long can I do this stuff? Remember, Sammy Hagar is 76 years old. These are hard songs to sing. Sammy has lost a little of what I would consider the zip on his fastball when it comes to high notes and things like that. So Anthony can do it, though. That's the good thing, is Michael Anthony can be there to help Sammy sing, and also to sing all of those Roth songs. They don't talk about if they're going to be singing the David Lee Roth songs. I'm assuming they are. Regarding the challenge of learning legendary Van Halen guitarist Eddie Van Halen's parts, Satriani said, there are things that are so iconic you have to nail it. But if you go deep with what he did live, he never played the same thing twice. He kept evolving. He kept pushing. He'd do the recorded version a little bit, but then he would move on. It's a daunting task when you do the deep dive into what he did. But it's good to start at the beginning, and then you just learn all his little improvs, and you get the idea of what he was trying to do. It's thrilling. It's fun. The tour follows on the heels of the chart-topping success of the Collection 2, which is the box set released back on October the 6th, featuring newly remastered versions of the 4 consecutive #1 albums released during the Hagar era, which of course include 5150, OU 812, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and Balance. That's a pretty big achievement that Van Halen had a #1 album in 1995 with Balance. If they had kept things together and just continued to be Van Halen and didn't try to fit into the scene at the time, I think they would have continued that run. But anyway, that didn't happen. Collectively, Anthony, Satriani, and Bonham have played together in nearly every phase of Hagar's career, including Van Halen, Chickenfoot, and The Circle. So fans can expect a set list which draws from some of the biggest rock anthems of the last 4 decades, including Finish What You Started, 5150, Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy, Best of Both Worlds, Pound Cake, Sexy Little Thing, One Way to Rock, Right Now, Good Enough, and Eagles Fly. They've also enlisted legendary Australian musician Ray Thistlewaite on keyboard and backing vocals. So they're going to make this sound like the Hagar era, which is great. The tour represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see this band of brothers deliver one of the most legendary hits-packed live shows of their career, of course, brought to you by Live Nation. I guarantee you, folks, Irving Azoff said, why don't you just go out there with Mike and Joe? And I'm sure Sammy said, yeah. After a while, he had to just say, you know what, we've got to do this. I'm 76 years old, and people are looking for some closure. Now, again, I'm wondering if they're going to devote a portion of the show to Eddie Van Halen, because he deserves a tribute pretty much every night these guys are out there playing. I'm sure they're going to have some visuals. How much they can do, though, we don't know, because Al controls things and Wolf might control things to some degree. So they might not be able to get away with just doing a full-blown segment on Ed. But if the powers that be aren't going to allow them to do that, I think that's kind of criminal, because this is it, folks. This is going to wrap up the Van Halen brand, unless Roth goes to Vegas again and does his chicken dance and squeals a lot. I don't know. That's embarrassing. You know what's great, though? You've got Michael Anthony. And Michael Anthony is going to hold this thing together, as far as I'm concerned, because he can do the Roth stuff if they choose to do Roth stuff. He can help Sammy with some of these notes, which quite honestly are a little out of his reach in some places now. But if you're going to do this, you got to do it. You got to do it soon. So in any event, I'm thinking they recognize they didn't have a lot of time left to pull this off, and I'm thinking fans are going to be very happy. So tickets go on sale Friday. Good for Sammy for just doing this, and Irving Azoff, I'm sure, had a hand in this. And even though he's not, the most, shall we say, moral person on the music scene, he pretty much owns everything. He's kind of like the Amazon of live music and concerts and everything these days. You got to hand it to him when stuff like this goes down, because he's back there pulling all the strings. So, as Don Henley said, we know he's Satan, right? Referring to Irving Azoff, but he's our Satan, so we like him, right? Anyway, it's the ruthless world of business, and Irving Azoff, the biggest kingpin still out there. Live Nation. You can't do anything without Live Nation. So one more time on Vital Lines, Wheels Within Wheels. Fantastic album. People keep telling me, you need to keep doing the new music stuff. And then some people say, nobody cares, Dave. Nobody cares. So just put your little albums away and stop talking about them, because nobody cares. So in any event, thanks for being here. And please subscribe. We've got some new patrons coming on board. We had a drought for like a month of patrons. It's like the viewership went down. The revenue, I've lost 50% since the beginning of the year. And subscribers, like I'm stuck at like 74,000. So it is what it is, folks. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you can do that, it's helpful, and more content on the way. So stand by for that. And good on Sammy Hagar. Good job. And who knows, maybe I'll try to buy a couple of tickets to see the boys close the whole Van Halen brand down. That would be fun.